Hello YouTube, fellow math students and fellow math teachers. Today we are going to be covering the Mathematics Vision Project Math 1 Module 1 third task called Serving Up Symbols. By the end of this lesson you should be able to do the following. You should be able to understand that quantities can be measured in units. You can identify appropriate units for given quantities. You can combine units to make meaningful expressions. And you can analyze expressions to find the following information, such as what are we going to count, and what units can you use to measure those things. Here's a little bit of vocabulary that will be helpful before we get started. We can measure units in either quantities or rates. Quantities are written in one unit, while rates are a unit per unit, or a unit divided by another unit. For example, if we use the capital W to stand for weight, we can measure weight in various things like pounds, grams, etc., etc. Whereas S stands for speed, we can measure speed in miles per hour, feet per minute, or anything else really. The difference that you need to keep in mind is that quantities is what you're measuring, and the rate is what you're measuring in. That's really the thing that you need to keep in mind. For this particular task, you'll notice that it starts out with a very long table that takes up a whole page. That's the bulk of this task. You just need to fill out that table. There are a couple of examples that you can use as kind of a guide for you to figure out how to fill this in. For each variable that you have defined, you need to have two different units into it. You need to have the quantity, or the one word, the what you're measuring, and an appropriate rate. Again, use the examples given on the table, and that should help you figure out how to assign units to the various variables. Once you're done with the table, you need to go through and start combining some units. Be aware that some units don't combine very well. And if you'd like, I can do another video where we talk about when and why some units combine and some don't. But that's one for another time. We're focusing more on serving up symbols. There are a lot of right answers. Don't be afraid to be creative. In fact, this would be a good task to be able to split up with a partner and have each person do one or two and then come back and share. It can, A, lower your workload, and B, you can get an interesting perspective on how people are playing with the different variables. As usual, when you finish the task, make sure you ask the following questions that are on the right side of the screen so that you can figure out if you are getting the information that you need to, that I would like you to get out of this task. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to come in during my office hours, as well as messaging me or sending me an email, and I will help you as best I can. Alright, this is Mrs. DeVore doing Serving Up Symbols. And remember, as always, let's just be awesome.